This is going to be a quick one, a very quick one. And why is it so quick? Well, first of all, I'm all sweaty and gross from having walked the beach this morning. I went out to find sea beans and didn't find any. But this, I couldn't let this pass without some kind of commentary. Okay, if you don't know who I am, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. I used to write for Pathos, a column called No Longer Quivering, for over 10 years. I wrote about the quiverful evangelical movement and evangelicalism in general, including places like the IBLP, which Bill Gothard is a part of, or was a part of before they booted him out for for having allegations that he had done some things to some young women. And I've talked to a number of those victims back when I had it No Longer Quivering. Not a good situation. But I laugh when I hear people who've never been part of any of these, I'm going to say, high demand religious organizations, because I don't like the C word, try to tell those of us who have about them, and they get them horribly, horribly wrong. What do I mean, horribly, horribly wrong? Well, there's one vlogger. My mind is fried. I've been out in the sun too long today. That likes to invent things. And right now, one of the things that she's saying is that urine drinking is part of the IBLP. Fringe part, but a part. No, not urine, Diet Coke. So I have to quantify what it is I mean by that when I said they aren't drinking urine. Okay, one of the things I know for sure about the IBLP and Bill Gothard and many other groups is that they hold these rather radical, out there medical thoughts, medical ideas, and they don't like medicines. They don't like any of that. They don't like this crap at all. I don't like this crap, but I take it because I like to keep living and moving and grooving. They don't believe in doing things like checking your blood pressure, any of that. You just have to pray and God will heal you. So they all have some rather strange ideas about health. And one of the biggest ones that keeps going around these different groups is that if you suffer from any kind of ailment, you've done something wrong. It's a sin that you've brought on yourself for generational sins, instead of the fact that maybe you were born with asthma or whatever. Instead of saying, oh, it's just the way it is, they invent reasons that are not very good. And along with the reason inventing, you have a lot of people who are coming up with all kinds of alternative medicine. I think, like, Lori Alexander likes Black Salve. She really loves it. She talks about it. She's used it on some of her things. I would suggest not to do that because it's actually banned in the US because of some of the things that have happened as a result. But in this weird little subgroup, it's no medicines, no doctors, no treatments, no hospitals. It is use these old-fashioned medicines. And there's something to be said for some of it. Hell, I got a box of TLOT in my kitchen that I use when my asthma's bad. So sometimes herbal medicines work and they're early medicines, but it's ridiculous to rely on them for everything. So in the Gothard groups, as well as other places, they rely on this herbal medicine and these really out there things. And what do I mean by that? Well, I've seen people take all kinds of crap through the years and claim that it is godly and that's what God wants them to do. They pressured me in my old church to give up my asthma, my nebulizer, and my VPAP, and all of that. And just seeing Gothard's wisdom booklets, and I encourage you to look those up. A girl by the name that runs a blog by the name of When Cows and Kids Collide has a lot of them scanned in and commentary on the Matter blog. When Cows and Kids Collide at blogspot.com. She's got a boatload that explain stuff that's not even real. Like if you are SA that you brought it on yourself, no. they're that way also about health. So our friend is making the claims about the pee drinking. Okay, there may be a few on the edges of this CULT, and I'm going to call that because it is, who are promoting this, because that's one thing I've seen in my years at my old church is that somebody will stumble across some really bizarre out there medical thing and grab the ball and run with it and tell everybody, oh, it's the best thing ever. For a while there, it was colloidal silver. I have a friend who's drunk so much colloidal silver on the advice of Pat Robertson, or was it? No, I'm sorry, Jim Baker, that her skin is gray now. So there's consequences for these stupid things, and there are consequences for drinking urine too. It's a waste product. So there may be a few people on the fringes of all of these groups that are doing that. Now, I do know when this person was writing for Pathos, and they were on the edges of some of these out there groups that talked about urine drinking, because we had conversations about this. And I think there's some content creators out there, and I'm not going to name any of them, that they never let an idea go. They never do. They just always run these things around in their brain, and later it comes out some weird way. And then people look at it going, what? Because they don't believe that at all. They've never seen this before. I kind of think that may be what happened here. There are a lot of people that are into this urine drinking, though. That kind of makes me laugh. No, thanks. I'll stick with water, Diet Coke, coffee, and other things like that. Water. Water is still the best. Yeah, so I'm gonna, and I have to tell you one little story about that. This group that we're all a part of on Facebook, she was taking some of the stuff from. One of the things I was showcasing were people with Morgellons. I had never seen this except online until recently. When my husband was having his bouts of problems with his gallbladder before they removed it recently, we were in there one day where they brought a woman back to the ER of the clinic, and he was back there laying down because they were trying to give him a treatment so he could survive long enough to get to the hospital and have this surgery. A lady came back that had Morgellons. She didn't say Morgellons, but she was carrying on about how no doctors listen to her or believe her or any of that. And she was trying to say things were under her skin, moving around, and it was sitting there listening to this going, ugh. It was worse than the day we were sitting there, and we heard a friend of ours moaning that another friend of ours had waved at him and then flipped him the bird while they were driving past after his motorcycle accident. So, when you're out of content, you're going to grab for this stuff. And it's really frustrating to me because, like, right now, I have such bad asthma. I can tell you right now, I feel like somebody's in a stranglehold on me, that I'm not able to do all the crap that I'm thinking about. And God knows I have had a ton of thoughts on everything under the sun, not just this crazy things going on with this crazy creator, but with mental health statuses of people and how to check that, how to know where you are and that stuff. Explaining all this crap that has nothing to do with the blogger. I'm still annoyed with the other YouTuber that pretended to have a stroke. I've had two strokes in one. No, I've had three, I should say. I had one in utero where they found out when they tested me for the second one. And I think it's disgusting when people pretend that they've had these things specifically to work their audience so they can get more money. I'm watching all the infighting going on in the different communities. I'm just shaking my head going, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting with each other? This is just the silliest thing I've ever heard of. Just all of that going on right now. So many things. And hey, Celine. So all this is going on. People are just coming up with this crazy, and I'm just kind of sitting back here watching, walking the beach. Yeah, I came back from the beach rather frustrated today because so many people toss their trash. And this is a national beach there. Got a little day with a coworker. It went well. Awesome. That's excellent. 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 I'm glad to hear that. So people are throwing their trash and they're not picking up. I guess who's going to trial and has a protection order for fly mom Laura. Oh my word. Oh my yes. Party down. I figured that was coming. I figured that either they were gonna go ahead and do the judgment or that was gonna go down. The protection order I can see. They made a real good case about that. I like going to Home Depot to see the cute guys. I've always been attracted to the rugged blue collar types. Well, somebody has to. I've always liked nerds, eggheads, smart guys. My one of my closest friends, she can still talk about them. Oh, this is about to get nasty. So when they go ahead and give a date on this thing, that means that I might be able to fly to that part of the world and visit. I'm thinking seriously about going to the trial. I've been thinking about that for a while. Everyone has a type. Yeah, they do. And that's the good thing because we can all try our different types and we're not all chasing the same guy. I was never one that liked the football player, popular guy types. Just those types. Oh, and Native American men. I've always been very attracted to them. So, cheers. Boy, that is good to know. You have made my day, Laura. You just don't even know. You don't even know. Sometimes it feels like evil people are allowed to flourish, and the rest of us are kind of like going, really? Why would that happen? Why would you allow that? No schedule yet, but it is going down. Well, then we can see why there's been so much freaky behavior lately, and there's been a lot of things alleged that aren't even remotely true, like claiming there's this subset of people that are drinking urine that are linked to Bill Gothard. Bill Gothard hasn't been part of the IBLP in a couple of years. I mean, they threw him out, no doubt. Now, I've had people asking me, why don't I go out to the base and report on them? They're not as interesting to me. Even when they were friends with the Duggars. And I can't stand the beige aesthetic that some of their daughters do for their homes. It's like, why would you use beige? And I've restrained myself here by using very basic colors. I like everything like, I like bright colors. I like colors. Oh, yep. Somebody who's ended up spending a ton of money. A trial costs a ton of money to have your attorney there representing you. Be careful. She's going to be losing those two Bentleys. Two Bentleys and the BMW for the liquor store runs. Oh my. So that's basically all I came along to say today, was just to say, don't believe all the stories of pee drinking and Duggars and all of that. It's not true. It may be borderline true. There may be one or two doing it, but I don't think the whole group as a whole, that this is anything they've embraced, because if you look at the things that the IBLP and Gothard have, their theology, they would never do something that is considered a Hindu ritual. Never, 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 never. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go. I got to do the nebulizer thing, and I got to take a shower. I'm sweaty and gross right now. But I wanted to come on and talk about this for a few minutes before I ran out to run 50,000 errands. Now, I've had about, I guess, 10 or 12 weeks where I was really down, very depressed. And I finally feel like I'm starting to come out of it. Of course, it may be the weed that I take for my asthma when it gets this bad. So who knows? Long live edibles and medical marijuana. I'm just going to say that. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. I can't stand myself. I'm so funky. Love you guys. I am going to go read the order. I'm going to go take a look at that too. I got to take a shower first. I'm like greasy feeling.